Hey, welcome back to another video. My name is Kevin McKella, founder of Upgrade My Rituals, and actually it's the first video that I'm making in the new studio, so that's really, really cool. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a in-depth dive of what I did down here, but that's not what today is about. Today is about my developments. The last 5 months, ever since kind of COVID hit, has been 6 months, I don't even know, last 6 years, whatever. It's been a real rough go for us. But what has happened throughout all this has been a lot of reflecting, a lot of very odd creative juices that have come through this process for me. And, you know, when people used to ask me, like, what do you do? Yeah, I'd say, oh, I run this online business, and it's like productivity, daily routines, and it's like a system ritual, and it's like it was way too confusing to explain to people, and it shouldn't be. That's the problem. Now, later down the road, I always wanted to make a planner, a physical analog planner that you would write your day in, and write all the things you need to do, and and your weeks and your months for that matter. And I found a lot of really great planners throughout my life, and I wanted to make one incorporating ritual design. I said, well, later down the road, there's a physical product, there's more, Throughout all this process, I've said, you know what, let me just flip the script a little bit, and maybe I should make the planner first. And with that being said, everything became so much more clear. It makes so much more sense of what I do, what Upgrade is about, by actually delivering the system through this analog planner straight from the beginning. And everything else that I do is kind of on top of that, which is really cool. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to kind of jump in my computer, and I want to show you a little bit about the planner, because one thing I know is important is documenting this process. I think it's really important to kind of show what the inner workings are and where we are. And today was kind of monumental because I literally just put the final touches in the planner and formatted everything, and now we just have to do some spell checking, and then we'll be off to the printer, and that's another process that we'll talk about. But for now, I want to jump into the computer and kind of show you what the Ritual Design Planner is kind of all about.
All right, so here is a little bit of a sneak peek of the Ritual Design Planner that I am very, very excited for. I'm very proud of. I think it's very well designed. I think, especially considering I've been working the last few months on it, it bakes in ritual design into every single day and every single week, as well as using some of the tried and true tactics of productivity, that needs to be incorporated in a planner. So I'm really excited. It kind of gets you going with obviously the principles of the planner, what it actually is about, and some of the concepts that I've used. For instance, like why I am a strong advocate that routines kind of always trump habits for the most part, right? Setting smarter goals, being able to have a holistic approach to your day and your life, capture concepts, right? Capturing everything that you need to do and then distilling it into action items, block time, zero-based schedule, all these different concepts that are kind of baked into this planner that I think are really, really important alongside ritual design. So speaking of ritual design, this is a kind of brief overview if you've never experienced it before, right? So if someone's getting this planner and they don't know what the heck ritual design is, it kind of gives it, walks you through the 4 routines, the actuator, the clog, the keystone ritual, and the variable routine. I give you some examples, and I think it looks nice too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real quick. There's a whole bunch of these pages, which are examples, the planner map examples of kind of showing you exactly how somebody can go about filling some of these, things out, right? And helping their progress, because there's about, I want to say maybe 15 pages before you actually get to the first week or the first day that kind of set you up. So it kind of shows you how to do that. So I'm not going to go through those examples, but just know that they're there. What I will do is I'll kind of show you straight on what they are. So The first, part of the actual journal, 27 pages in, is is the quarterly goals, right? So, all right, we're going to set, our quarterly goals, and then each one of those goals breaks down into a more detail. Now, I do not believe in setting annual goals. Some planners will have, some quarterly planners have a space for annual goals. I don't think it's incongruent, right? So if you have a quarterly planner, you should set quarterly goals. I used to set annual goals. Never, ever did I once go 1 year without changing those annual goals. As a solopreneur and, as a creative, my goals are always changing. So that's why I've made a quarterly planner. Anyway, these details break it down into what is the specific outcome of your goal. Why do you want to accomplish this, right? Because that really gives the juice to, the fuel to run the car, right? And then some more details, and then the actual action steps needed to, make this happen. For me, I actually, I added the reward here. I don't really fill out the reward most of the time. It's just not something that I need, but I know some people do. So, it's there. The next section is the domain section. So you have to figure out, what areas of your life do you want to improve over the next 90 days? Is it your personal, professional? And now I've only given an area for 6 domains. Anything more than that, and it's overkill. You're not going to be able to focus on, 10, 11, 12 domains and be successful at them. So each quarter, take 6 domains. If you want to repeat them throughout the year, that's fine. And you fill out exactly what this wheel of life, which, has been around many and many times before, how well this wheel will drive, right? If your fitness is a 3, but your finances are a 9, that bump in the road is going to be pretty hard to get over. And we've experienced that in our lives. Your first initial ritual design. So you're going to have a space for this every week to update this if you want, but this is your first one, right? You're going to really try to, figure out what's actually happening in your morning routine, your before work, your after work, and your night routine. Obviously, keystone and variable, as well as the actuator and the clog on the next page. So the ideal week, this is a good spot where you can kind of put your big blocks. If you know that Monday and Wednesday you have morning meetings that you've committed to work and your other colleagues, you should put that in there. It may not have anything to do with your ritual design, but you're going to have to work around it anyway. If you know that 3 o'clock, on Wednesdays or Thursdays is when you put your podcast episode out or whatever it may be, put those big blocks there, not necessarily when you're going to go food shopping. You know what I mean? That could maybe be a little bit more manipulative, something like that. So a nice space for your month at a glance. So kind of taking, a month, a look of what activities, I may have a wedding this day, and I might have, something over here, whatever it may be, right? It's important when you're doing any type of calendar work. Here is your weekly prep. So what you're going to be filling out for the week, 3 major objectives. Again, the motivations and the tasks to actually make those objectives happen. And if you notice, I'm using goals for the quarterly goals, weekly objectives, and then on the daily page, you have tasks. So these are specifically thought out, and I deliberately chose that terminology because a task is a small thing. It's not an objective, right? And that languaging is really important. So there's, like I said, a lot of thought throughout this planner. On the second half of this page, this is where you plan out the activities throughout your day from 5 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock at night. So I've given you ample time, for most individuals that, obviously don't work night shifts or anything. Space to track your AM routine, AW routine, BW routine, PM routine. These I'm not going to go into right now, but these boxes are very flexible. You can do numbers, you can do check marks, you can do X's, you can do a score of what all these different ways you can actually track it. That is in the journal. That in the beginning of the planner map, you actually get to see examples of all different ways you can track. But I've done it in a way where you could be flexible. So I'm going to skip all the way to the very end, and I'll show you kind of some supplemental stuff I put in. So at the very end, you get to the quarterly review, which is basically a review of how you did this quarter, right? And remember, it doesn't have to be, your quarter doesn't have to necessarily start, on January and on April. You can start it whenever you want. And if you don't, spend exactly 3 months, if you spend 2 months and then get a new planner, say, on, April 1st, that's fine too. But domain review, this comes back and you get to kind of see what progress you made on this wheel of your, the domains of your life. I've also added some project pages. So if you have specific projects that need to be done over a longer period of time throughout the quarter, or maybe not done, within that week, you could use these. There's 6 of those. There is some note pages. So if you take in some notes at a meeting or something, and we have obviously an index at the end. So I am just so super excited. This is just a very brief overview of kind of what is in this planner and what this is made of, and I'm pumped.
So that's it. That is a sneak peek into this planner that we're actually creating and that I'm going to be printing. And my goal is to clearly have this out by the beginning of the year, 2021 for that matter. I wanted it actually even a little earlier, but things never work as planned, obviously. So my next steps will be sourcing and printing. So most likely I'll be finding a printer in China to print my first run of these planners. And again, they're quarterly planners, so there actually are quite a few other quarterly planners specifically for professionals out there, like business-oriented solopreneurs, professionals that it's a pretty viable market, which is exciting. And but what's nice is that creating your own system and leveraging your system of daily routines, ritual design for that matter, there's nothing like it. So it's really cool. I'm just super excited, and I'm really I just can't wait. So I will obviously keep you updated on the printing process and let you guys know when you can order yours. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be, like I said, obviously getting back into updating podcast episodes and other videos like this. And obviously hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time a new video comes out, and like the video if you like it. So I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, and catch you later.